Hi, this is Aunt Jeanette,
And I'm Sean.
and this is
Take a Fool's Advice.
this is our podcast that we started with brother and sister, and we wanted to start a podcast, a real podcast where we sit and talk about everyday things and our own life experiences. And we want to start where we left off last week.
All right. As I was saying about how, as I was younger, we would go over Sandra and Edward's, our Uncle Edward's house, and our auntie's house. And anytime we had a physical situation, we had boxing gloves. And what that actually done for me, it trained me to not be able to handle situations without violence for the most part.
Last week you said we were taught to be violent, not peaceful.
Correct. And excuse me. And with that being said, it's a lot to come with being violent. You know, it's a lot to come with it. As well as, I have been around people as I got older where I could understand it, who I give them my scenarios and they tell me how they would have done it. And to me, that was a punk way, but it was a non-violent way. You get what I'm saying? So I did realize and truly understand as I got older that there was true perceptions versus my only perception. And what really hit me was, and as we go on, we're going to talk about me being in prison. And what really hit me was when I went up for parole, the parole officer read off the tickets I had got over the years, 20 years I was in. And I'm listening, I'm trying to give him the best me. He turns around and says something that blows my mind, and I didn't think it would. He said, all your tickets, all your records, violence. Why are you so violent? And he went like that. And for the first time in my life, I never thought I was violent. I really didn't. But
to me, and it's truth. We being honest. All of us are. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Me, right. You, Tiff, Eric. All of us are, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a generational curse, because not only were we raised that way, we were not raised to pick or to be a bully, but if someone hit you, do you remember what they used to tell us?
Pick up something and hit them?
Yeah, they used to actually say, somebody hit you, you try to kill them. Yeah,
I've been told that.
From growing up, if they put their hands on you, you try to kill them.
Now,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. To add to that, what's so crazy is that we were taught that from mom and daddy, and grandma also taught us that. So when we left our parents and we were with our grandmother, she was cut the same way. You know what I'm saying? So it was basically in our blood. And I ain't saying this to say that we were tough.
No.
But the truth of it was, and I hope God noticed the truth, and God does notice the truth. We wasn't kids that picked with other kids.
We took in kids that were picked with most of the time. Exactly. And the thing about that is, I know you're not saying it to brag, but and we had the best parents ever to us. They loved us. They didn't want anybody touching their kids. And even when daddy lived with me, if the grandkids would get in a fight or something, he would get so angry because he didn't want nobody touching the kids. And he'd tell them, you go out there, you got to pick up something, you knock their head off. And I got a grandson right today is just like that. The principal told Dynasty, I seen the little boy hit Baby J, but when Baby J reacts back to being attacked, he really tried to hurt the kid. Because that's us. That's how we were taught all along. And in a way, not in a way, it made life harder on us.
But it did. And it just made me think of some friends I had when I was younger, how we whooped a guy with a chain at school. We didn't have to. And I mean, we was all, I mean, like I said, as I said before, it was a lot of other kids like me. So it wasn't like it wasn't no company. But of course there's bad company. You know what I'm saying? So no one was thinking that, oh yeah, you was the only bad kid. But I guess in the Black culture, I think more or less you have to have a little tougher skin. Because your parents come from our generation, racism, it was a little more blatant than it is now. You get what I'm saying? It was a little more outright than it is now. And it wasn't just, and I'm saying this racism has something to do on a Black man's mind to me. Because what it does is, to me, it makes you start hating yourself, so you can't love your brother or your sister that you're around. You get what I'm saying?
And not every child was raised like that, though, in the Black, not every child was raised like that, or not every child had that in them. Some may have been told, but there were what we would call cowards. But the daddy and mama instilled it in us so tough that, like you said, with the dog chain incident, I remember getting into it with the girl up the street, and I ran home, and the first thing daddy said, because it was pick up anything you can use, he said, go in that backyard and take that dog chain off that dog. And this was a thick dog chain that was heavy for me. But I took that dog chain off that dog and I ran right back up that street, and I beat that girl with the dog chain. And most kids did not, their parents were not, no, they weren't gonna do that. They would have went and talked to the parent.
Hey, Freddie, give you a pocket knife. That's how he was. He gave me pocket knives. But even with that being said,
they wanted us to be able to take care of ourselves. They didn't want anybody hurt.
But I wasn't, to be truthful with you, I never really stabbed anybody when I was a kid. I didn't shoot anybody. I think you have. You got a couple of incidents. But when I was younger coming up, that didn't happen until I got 17. When I became 17, my life changed to worse as far as violence. I was around my cousins now in Illinois, and that's what it's about. And that's what you're gonna get on with. And so like I said, it was a natural thing. And I'm young. And like I said, as a kid, and we was talking about how you said not all kids was raised like that. What I was saying, as far as Black men growing up in those eras, the 60s, the 70s, it was a lot of people trying to have Black pride. And a lot of times we destroyed each other with drugs, and as we do now, but it was a lot of things going on in that era. And people actually began to hate one another because, like in the 70s, I remember beanbag couches, I remember mirrors, the bees hanging from people's doors. You remember all that?
Yeah, but going back to blacks hating or they hating their own skin, that's been going on from slavery days. That before slavery days, that been going on when the first Africans sold their brothers into slavery. That's been going on. But just to say, like, take our household on Jackson Street and take our neighbor's household on Jackson Street. Those kids were not violent at all.
They were. What kids you talking about?
Our neighbors at 77 North Jackson Street. you know, I don't want to say names, but
70, it wasn't 77.
What was the address?
527.
No, we getting it mixed up with Danville. I'm talking about in Pontiac on Roseline.
Yeah, we ain't stay on Jackson.
Right, Roseline Street. So compared to our neighbors next door to us, they were not violent people.
You talking about Eric Green?
Yeah, I didn't want to say their name on the video, but I'm just saying, so every child was not like that or raised like that. Our household was totally different. They had a peaceful household and they were peaceful people. We had a household that was up in the air, and we was up in the air.
And you know what's crazy about what you just said? And to this day, I'm still friends with both. In fact, about a month ago, we were just in Southfield at a club together, and they're the same people. And you know, that is a guy, I'm gonna say his name because he's my brother and I love him. Corey Green is really Eric's best friend, our brothers. But me and him, right now, anything I ask that man for, he there for. But he always gives me great advice. He gives me great advice.
Uh-oh, we lost Sean again. So hopefully he will get back on. But yeah, just talking about the way you raise your children really do matter. And sometimes parents don't know better because for whatever reason, our parents did not want us to be hurt in any way. And that's all parents, but they gave us the mindset to protect yourself at all costs necessary, which went on into later life, and caused a lot of problems in our lives. Go ahead, turn your camera around. Okay.
I'm so sorry about that.
But yeah, and our neighbors that was raised, and we were good friends with our neighbors, and but the household dynamic was different. And
like I said, excuse me, but like I was saying, those brothers is still the same brothers. They peaceful. Both of them about to retire from good jobs. Do lots of vacations. Great vacations. I'm talking about, and like I said, anything I can go to that brother for, and I need him, or vice versa, be there for each other. But
that violence made, on the other hand, it made life harder. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, because I'm gonna tell you something about this individual. It's sometimes you can bring violence on by being too out there or too opinionated. Then you got people that will be calm, cool, and collective, don't want no static, but if you push up on them, they'll be violent too. And so that what this individual, and certain individual I know that's not, I know some totally like you talking about.
Us. I'm talking about keeping it real.
No,
I'm
listen,
talking about getting out of control anger like we do, like
I know that. I agree with what I'm saying.
Slobbing, spitting, running over stuff, hitting people. You know, that's the kind I'm talking about.
I ain't been that crazy. I know you talking about now.
I'm talking about a total dysfunction, screaming and hollering. It's
what I'm saying.
Normal.
Just listen to this. Listen, I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is the individual that we were talking about, or individuals, I know a couple of them. They are peaceful people because the way they think. They see trouble maybe quicker than we do, or we sniff out trouble more than they do.
I wouldn't even say that. I think they are more peaceful because the people that raised them was not telling them to knock somebody's head off or to go or get a chain. So they wasn't raised up in that, which is a good thing, I'm just saying the way the way you are raised, it affects the outcome of how you act. And yeah, I know that the most peaceful person can get angry and pop off. You know what I'm saying? But for some people, it is the norm to pop off.
And we talking about the same thing. And maybe I miss you when I'm saying this. I know somebody like me that people think they are not like me, and we talk. So he shared how he thinks. And I realized his thinking of maneuvering in situations was better than mine. That he didn't even have to even get involved in that. It wasn't that he was afraid of it or he wouldn't do it, because I done seen him with my own eyes have to do it. But he thought better. In other words, I drive by a store and I see a bunch of people, young people, crazy people, well, they look crazy to me, hanging out the store, bopping, doing what they doing. I see one guy got his shirt up, he's showing his pistol. It's a store, but it's 10 miles down the road, another one, 10 miles down the road. Would it be wise to go in this damn store and take a chance on having a problem, or go 10 miles to the next store where I won't have no problem? That's the difference. But, hold on, last thing, sis. But I do agree, 99% of the people that you're talking about, or we're talking about, are not like us, or haven't been raised that way. And speaking about my brother Corey, he was not raised like that. His grandmother, I go over there for school. That was my buddy, his cousin. She'd be over there cooking them breakfast, coffee brewing. You smell that beautiful coffee in the morning. And she'd say, "How you doing this morning, Sean?" "Well, I'm blessed." And she was peaceful. And so were they.
So that's all I'm saying. It just makes it.
Yeah, I get that. But I'm just saying, some people are better thinkers too. It's not that they're not violent, and they don't have to act violent because they're better thinkers. And that's what I'm learning.
Okay, let me say this. No, I wouldn't even say, okay, let me say this. You say better thinkers. So the store incident, one person say, you know, the peaceful person, it's trouble there, I'm not gonna go there, right? But somebody that was raised like, you know, I'm getting my respect. They think, like you said, they think different. They gonna go in that store and be like, I'm walking up in this joint and ain't nobody gonna say nothing to me, because if they do, it's gonna pop out. And so the whole dynamic is different. You see what I'm saying? Because I have lots of friends that's peaceful. I am now, but nothing says that I have to really work on not popping off. Somebody else, it might be easy, but my pop-offs are kind of like mental cases. I probably need like counseling, not just my pop-offs, your pop-offs, Tiff's pop-offs, Eric's pop-offs. They're not normal pop-offs. People don't be going and going crazy. I remember one time I was so mad, I could not get this person who I felt disrespected me, came in my house, and I could not get this person. Now, most people is gonna pop off with that, right? But me, on the other hand, my pop off was I couldn't get this person, and it's nothing I could do but roll on the ground like a crazy animal. Who does that? I was that mad that I couldn't get that person. I started rolling on the ground like a crazy animal. Or like another instance, I was sitting at a party talking to somebody that I knew didn't like my cousin, Carla, and Carla, my girl. And I'm just sitting there and we all just talking, playing cards. All of a sudden, I take out a gun and put it to the girl's head. That's the kind of crazy pop-off I'm talking about, where it's more than a pop-off. It can be a curse. It can ruin your life.
Well, I mean, I don't even say I ruined my life, but I took a big chunk out of my life because of my pop-offs. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying now, is that thinking now becoming a better thinker, I'm learning how I gotta put, especially as I'm getting older, how I gotta put the good thoughts into action. That's what I'm trying to manifest now. And like I said, as a kid, right, coming up, going through that, I'm learning some of my thinking and some of my actions, not some of them, all of my thinking and actions cause my situations.
So would you say, because we're running out of time, we got like 1 minute. So we're gonna have to do longer, but just to say the thing of the way we were raised and like you said, being taught violence instead of peace,
Mm-hmm.
we should all try to teach our kids peace.
Well, Jamarie, my son, has really been taught peaceful because his grandmother is really one of the sweetest, peaceful people. His mother's, a doctor, whatnot. But so sometimes, I ain't gonna say all the time. I think my son and your kids, the way they were raised, went through the peaceful thing, but we still taught them how to be violent if necessary. And
my kids will pop off.
But they all great kids though. Look at them.
Yeah.
They're independent. None of them, not one of them live with you.
No.
Not one.
Our video getting ready to end. Thank y'all for coming to podcast. God bless.
That's it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me.
We've got our full device.
I know. Okay, we're gonna try to keep going because it still stay recording. So continue.
Okay, we might be blessed to give y'all a little bit more because we into the deep topic. But I was going to get a full advice, but see, we got a little time. We can continue on with what we were talking about as far as the kids popping off and being, this, that way. We still taught them that. But I think our kids seen some of our examples of trying, especially as you coming up as a single mother, making things happen in your life. And I think my son seeing me go to penitentiary for 20 years for violence kind of gave him like, listen, maybe I should go to school. Maybe none of them are in prison, with extensive trouble, no trouble. So I'm not on wood for that. So I'm blessed with that. But like I said, I just don't, as of now, I'm not really a violent person unless you push my button. And I'm talking about just constantly making a problem or spook me by saying you're going to do something to me or somebody I love. That's the only time I really pop off as far as going to hurt somebody, do something to somebody. And like I said, I'm barely out messing with people. I'm an older dude now, so my crowd is not going to be too many guys trying to fight. If they are, they're kind of cuckoo at this age. But, so I'm getting to understand, like I said, the men who's getting my age, like I was saying about my friend Court, he, real brother, career man, tells me where he sees where I'm wrong. We've talked about being violent. He just says sometimes, man, and that's what I was going to say about my fool's advice. I genuinely live to be a better person. I don't wake up wanting to hurt nobody, wanting to do nothing wrong to anyone, or to be conniving, trying to find me a lick to rob, this, that, and other. I try to genuinely say, hey, the little wrong that I'm doing, I need to figure out a way out of this because I keep saying this. I need, whatever it is, I need to do this. That's how I wake up. And I think as long as a person does that, he's on the right path, he's on the right track, because that's what you're supposed to do, to try to be better if you know better. If you learn better, get better. So like I said, as I'm being blessed to see years, I start thinking back on hindsight, and I think about all the precious time, all the violent mistakes that could have been talked out, could have been walked away from. See, you know, man talk that crap. These guys rap, you know, I love rap music, but if you take a person's life and get a chance to get back on the streets, you better count your blessings. You know, so it's like, to be blessed as I am, to learn to be to have a chance to actually be this age, to actually be healthy, to actually have my right mind, my right form, to be able to do better. I mean, I got to do that. I can't keep taking advantage of it. I can't.
Okay, let me give my food's advice. Because first, I'm gonna give my plug for my jewelry, NGB522.blog. These are my, I made these earrings, sterling silver, necklace, bracelet. So any type of jewelry I make, even custom made jewelry. But my food advice for this week is love God more than you love anything or anyone. And that can even tie into violence, because even if you love God more than anything or anyone, you're going to try to do what pleases him. So that what keeps me from not being violent is trying to do what is right and pleasing God. So that took that violence away. And now I strive to be peaceful. I strive to have peace with everyone, you know, even people. I don't have any enemies. They might call me an enemy, but I don't have any enemies. It's nobody in this world worth me calling an enemy or hating and ending up in hell. So I show love. I strive to show love to everyone. And that is it. I think my recording may have stopped. My brother has dropped off. So that is my food's advice, is to love God more than you love anything or anyone, and it will all work out.